Not all heroes wear capes. Some wear Party City wigs. Watch.
Because Emily told you guys came in hot.
Emily didn't tell me.
Okay, so you're just coming out of the woodwork.
I haven't said anything. I've been asking you questions, right?
They just kind of come out.
Emily's friends for the win. Hey y'all, it's your captain for all things creative coming at you with Married at First Sight. Denver, season 17, episode 9. And if you are new to this channel, welcome. Please like, share, do all the things, and make yourself at home. And if you're returning, thank you so much for rocking with us. We appreciate you. And we're going to get into this review right now. So, first we see kind of like a montage of all the remaining couples. You see Austin and Becca having breakfast in bed and planning for Becca's birthday. Shout out to the birthday girl. Let me stop. Next, you have Claire and Cameron just showing how much their routines kind of go with one another because Claire's the morning person and Cameron's the night person, so they don't really bother each other. And kind of like opposites attracting in a way. And then you see Brennan and Emily being awkward talking about Brennan is gonna listen to Pastor Cal and move in, whatever. So the next big scene that's cute is Claire visiting her husband's job, and she and Cameron they fix a bike, and Claire says the attraction is growing. And then Becca and Austin celebrate her birthday with friends. And then you see Brennan moving, and he is not helping Emily. And he says he's getting overwhelmed, even though he's not doing anything. He literally brought, I think he said 2 boxes, and then he's judging Emily for how much stuff she has. But when you watch Married at First Sight, she said the apartment was like literally empty, so she was bringing everything they needed for the household on top of her stuff. So that includes like toilet cleaning stuff and paper towels and like groceries and things like that. And Brennan was just judging her, and she was like, instead of judging, she wished he would have helped because remember her wrist was broken. So he's sitting there, as you can see in the picture, just watching her lug all this stuff in and just acting like he's the one overwhelmed, and he's just so selfish and not into her. It's very sad to watch. And then he repeats his confessional that he never wants to get divorced, but his treatment of Emily makes the lie detector test determine that he is a lie or he's lying about this stuff right now. Next, you see Lauren and Orion, and Lauren got rid of the vacation braids. She looks so nice. And she's more somber, and telling her friends that, it wasn't her choice to get the divorce, but she's supporting Orion his decision, but she feels resentment and disappointment. And you see Orion, he's fake acting sad, but look at the smile on his face. He's saying that his family was disappointed that he didn't get what he wanted because he told, them his side of what all went down. And he also says that he's not looking for another relationship right now since he had genuine feelings for Lauren, which I have to take at face value. But again, look at his smile. He's a worm that wormed his way out of the relationship. And Lauren says she's looking for the lesson in the situation, but really realized that she didn't have a partner willing to make it work. So I think next week we're going to see Lauren in therapy again, because again, she does say she has all this resentment and feels that she got to work through all this stuff. Whereas Orion looked like he got out of jail. He's happy. Next, you see Brennan and Emily deciding on the theme of their party, and they decide they're going to do wigs and small hands, which I don't know what that was about. But basically, I believe Emily wanted the small hands, and when Brennan suggested the idea of wigs, he kind of suggested it and then said, I strongly want that to be the theme. And Emily just went along with it. So we kind of made the decision for them, which is like a pattern in their relationship. She's kind of going along to get along, thinking that's going to please him, but it's making him continue his disrespect for her. Like he already doesn't respect her. And then her not really standing up for herself encourages it. So it's like a vicious cycle. And Claire and Cameron's theme is anything but the cup, which is very funny. So everybody can drink anything and anything except for a cup. And then Brennan makes an alter ego out of his wig called Jimmy, and Emily's Victoria, and that's her Victoria wig you see there. Next, you see Cameron and Claire stressing out because Cameron dropped the ball on food, and he made the mistake, and she was correct to call him out and ask him to fix it. But Claire, she wouldn't drop it even after she brought it up. It was like you could see the problems in their communication creeping in again because Cameron's trying to fix it by ordering empanadas. Claire's still making little slick comments to him, like, you have one job, this and that. And then she also asked him why someone on his side isn't coming. I believe the name was Tilo or Tila, something like that. And then he explains why the person's not coming. And then while he's like done ordering the food, he realizes that he has to go pick it up in 15 minutes because he can't select the time in advance. So he got to go pick up the food in advance 5 hours away. So it adds a little more stress to everybody. Next, you see Becca and Austin start their party, and I believe it's a game theme because everybody brought a whole bunch of games. And they also made a charcuterie board, and I was like, I hope that's not all the food for everybody, but I really think that that's the only food that they have. And then Becca's friends tell Austin that she tends to bottle things up, so watch that. And then Austin friends tells Becca that he's a tough nut to crack. And then she says that's weird because she thinks she's open. But I think the friend is right because I think he masks his true feelings with humor and goofiness, and she got to watch that. And then overall, Austin friends approve of Becca, and they both say religion is an issue. But the friend is surprised. Let me go back there. Religion is an issue since the friend is atheist, and it never came up to be a problem in their friendship. But again, this is a marriage, so it's different. Obviously, especially if they're talking kids, then religion is going to be way more important because it affects one, how you raise the kids, but also decisions in the marriage. Because, for example, like if somebody is part of a religious group that, wants to be fruitful and multiply, and they're forcing one person to have a lot of kids because that's part of their religion. Those are the kind of issues that come up for couples when it comes to religion. So the friend kind of doesn't have a leg to stand on in some senses because the spouse is different from a friend. But I do think that this might be one issue that both of them are harping on as like a way to admit that they have other issues, but they say the issue is never the issue. So they can openly talk about this issue, but really, Brandon doesn't seem that excited about a lot of things going on with the relationship, whether it's partly because of, Becca struggles with her health, and also with the moving in thing. He was not excited about them trying to move in, and Becca wants to pressure him to move, but I don't know. This couple start off cute, but I'm starting to see a little bit of cracks. This is the best part of the episode. Brandon and Emily's friends arrive, and Emily's friends are the heroes. I want them at the reunion. I want them to have capes and their flowers and all the things, because Brandon, with his insensitive, disrespectful self, is gonna call himself trying to roast Emily in front of her friends for how much stuff she brought into the apartment, how much luggage she had. And then they asked him, "Well, wait, why did you bring so little? You're moving into a whole apartment. You only bought 2 bags." So that's when he started to see, like, oh, I can't say what I want in front of these ladies. And then Emily then tells everybody that she moved everything upstairs by herself, even with her broken wrist. And her friends double side eye Brennan. They're like, oh, you're that guy. So then, they all get their wigs, and then the friends get their own confessional, and they basically say they don't think Brendan is putting in as much effort as Emily. And then the group separates so that Emily gets to talk to Brendan's friend, and of course, Emily's friends get to tug on Brandon's wig as they should. And Emily's just friendly with Brendan's people. Conversation is normal, whatever. But the girls that are repping Emily, they go in on Brendan in a respectful way, and Brendan can't take it. He gets disrespectful. So he just gets defensive, and they're asking him to be himself. And first he thought he could just act like Jimmy, I guess his alter ego. They're like, stop, we're trying to get to know you. Put away Jimmy for now. So they kind of school him like a teacher. And I think that's again where the defenses went up, because they already, didn't let him roast her about, the luggage. So then he's talking to them, but he turned into Dr. Jekyll. Because remember, Claire and Lauren said he's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So this is when the Jekyll comes out. So or the other side of him switches out. And then the friends basically ask him why he's there, because they don't think he's taking this seriously. Like, that's, why did you sign up for this process, knowing that you have to move and do all this stuff, and then, look like you're not taking this seriously. And then this man goes and blames Emily, and he says, oh, did Emily tell you all these things? And the friends are like, no, Emily didn't tell us anything. We have been observing you since we walked in, and we saw you do a whole bunch of foolishness. And they gave him examples. They're like, for example, when it came to the food, you had Emily, basically doing almost everything. And, they know Emily's wrist is broken, all kinds of stuff. And when a friend said that she asked Emily if she needed help, she's like, I was looking at you to see, why aren't you helping her? You're supposed to be her partner. And then Brendan starts nitpicking just about the food. He's like, technically, I put it in the oven, or technically, I took it out the oven. They're like, stop it. It's not about the food only. This is just an example of this larger discussion that we want to have with you about who you are and what your intentions are. And he's been willfully obtuse, trying to argue over minutia. And really, the girls just, ask him what he thinks he wants to do. He's talking about he wants to give and do all these things. They're like, well, you're not doing it. And then they're like, for example, you didn't help her move. And they just grill him so beautifully. You should watch the episode if you haven't. And then he gets argumentative, and they basically squash what he's saying by asking him who he is and why he's there, right? And then after he says, well, y'all are attacking me, but they're like, we're not trying to attack you, we're trying to get to know you. But they say basically that he's resistant, and he basically has a wall. And then the friends say, listen, they're concerned about their friend. And you're like, you just resistant to everything. And then he just walks away, just feeling attacked by them. He's not listening to them at all. So next you see Claire and Brennan, and they say that the food done dried out. It looks bad, but they still gonna eat it. And then Claire admits that she was kind of getting spicy or feisty with Cameron because she's nervous about her friends accepting him and liking him. And she says it would take a big weight off her shoulders if they like him and accept him. And then Cameron reveals that one of his loved ones is actually dying in front of everyone, and Claire's blindsided by that. So that's the big thing that happens, at their party. And then Claire gets to thinking that Cameron doesn't trust her, since he never told her about all that, with the person being on their deathbed, and it gets her going in that negative headspace that she had started off in again. And then they sort of make unintentional digs at one another. Like Cameron says stuff like, he kind of disengages sometimes because Claire always act like she right, so she will, talk her stuff, and he just, kind of standoffish because of that. And then when they split up with, each other's friends, they both do talk about religion potentially being a problem for the two of them. And the friends who I think are therapists, who they give them really good advice. And then in the confessional or side interview, one of Claire's friends says that Cameron seems like, he has a lot of great thoughts and ideas, but he just doesn't know how to say them well. And this matches with his pattern of putting his foot in his mouth, throughout the season so far. So again, this problem's issue is communication, and they have a lot of, lines getting crossed. And Claire also brings up Cameron's family not being as involved, or her not being able to meet them, as a problem, because that's also a sign to her that maybe, either he's hiding stuff or he's not taking their relationship as serious if he's not willing to let her into his life more. Next, you see Becca and Austin. I almost called them Boston. About to make a ship name for them. But Becca and Austin say that everyone had fun at their party, so both of their communities surrounding them are positive. So that's a good sign for their future. And Becca basically says that intimacy is the next main thing they have to build on now. Now, she's also less nervous about the religion issue, since it hasn't been a problem in his friendships or in his past. But she thinks maybe he is reconnecting to his religiosity, and that's why it's a problem now. But again, I think that is the safe way to talk about other problems, because the friend said that religion don't guide any of the decisions in Austin's life. So the issue is not really the issue here. They're saying it's religion, but we all know, like, Becca has brought a lot to the table, including, her health issues and all those things. Last, before we get back to Emily and Brennan, who are basically the ones carrying the episode. Karen says that he has feelings for Claire, but he feels like Claire isn't giving him, good enough signals for him. And it's true, because Claire's very hard on him. But again, she is kind of getting attracted to him, but she don't know how to act. Neither of them know how to act or speak to each other, so they just got to learn each other. But they have a decent foundation, I would say. And then last but not least, Brandon. He made me so mad this episode. Emily and him are talking after the party, and Emily says that she liked Brennan's friends. And then Brennan gonna go and tell Emily that her friends attacked him. He couldn't even handle a simple discussion because he was called out, and he knows that he's on BS. And the friends see him for his works, and he does not like that. And Emily goes and apologizes to him for her friends, but she does kind of stand up for a little. She stands up for them a little bit by saying, well, to their defense, they care about her, so just take it as that. But she says, in the grand scheme of things, she wouldn't want his friends to treat her bad, so she's sad that her friends treated him bad. And he's like, no, you don't have to apologize. And in the confession, he's like, I will stand up for myself and my marriage. And I was like, oh, so now, you take your marriage seriously now that he sees that Emily has his back in this sense. But Brennan, he needs a lot of a reality check, because he's not being real about his feelings. He knows he's not that into Emily, and just as someone who is living with this girl, he just needs to develop simple care and respect for her. He doesn't have to fall in love with her, but this girl's wrist is broken. Help her. Stop making fun of her. Stop, judging her. Like Claire and Lauren had said it on after party like a couple weeks ago. He's always like laughing at her and disrespecting her. And if he can just be a decent human to her, that is a great start. So I want him to change. I don't want her to end up with him. I want them to at least go through the process with him developing some sense about himself and a little bit more respect. So in terms of the couples, I do feel like Austin and Becca, this episode they had the most positive party, but Cameron and Claire, they were in the middle. They had a little bit of a mixed bag, but they're still my favorite couple. And of course, Brandon and Emily, they brought the drama. Their relationship is a dumpster fire. And next week, it seems like Dr. Pia even is going to check Brennan because he don't have no respect. So put what you thought about, the couples in the episode in the comments. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, you are the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. And I will see you next time. Bye.